morning everyone. Om Namah Shivaya. Today I will recite Chandrasekharashtakam and explain its meaning. Chandrasekharashtakam was written by sage Markandeya, an ancient Hindu sage who was saved by Chandrasekhara or Lord Shiva from the Lord of Death or Kala or Yama at the age of 16 and was blessed by Lord Shiva to be 16 forever. It is believed that sage Markandeya sung this beautiful Sanskrit stotra when Chandrasekhara or Lord Shiva saved the sage from death. Iti Sri Chandrasekhara Ashtakam. Chandrasekhara, Chandrasekhara, Chandrasekhara pahi ma. Chandrasekhara, Chandrasekhara, Chandrasekhara rakshama. Ratnashanu sharashanam raja tashranga niketaram. Sinjanīkrūta pannageshvara machyutanana shayaka. Shri prada puratrayam tridivalaya bivavanditam. Chandrasekharamasraye mama kim karashyati ve mama. Paschapādapa pushpagandhapadambuja duyashobhitam. Balalochana jatapavaka kadamkamanma tavigraham. Bhashmadiktada levaram bhavanashanam bhavam vyayam. Chandrasekhara, Chandrasekhara, Chandrasekhara rakshama. Matvarana mukhya charma krutotari manoharam. Padmajashana padmalochana pujitanga rishoram. Devasindhutaranga siddhashubhrajatadaram. Chandrasekhara, Chandrasekhara, Chandrasekhara rakshama. Yaksharajasakhambhagaksha haram bhujanga vibhushanam. Shailarajasuta pariskrita charu amakalevaram. Svinganilagalam parashruta dharinam mrugadharinam. Chandrasekhara, Chandrasekhara, Chandrasekhara rakshama. Kundalikruta kundaleshvara kundalam vrushavahanam. Naradadini swarastutavai bhavabhuvaneshwaram. Andakandakama shritamara padapa shamanatkamam. Chandrasekhara, Chandrasekhara, भक्तवत्सलमचिन्तनीति मयक्षामहरिदवं मन्दरम् सर्वभूतपति परात्परप्रमेयमूर्णोत्तमम् सोमवारिजमभूताशन सोमपानिलखाकृति चन्द्रशेखर 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 रक्ष माम् विश्वसृष्टिस्थित्यललीनं पुनरेव पालन तत्परं संहरत्नपि प्रपञ्चमशेषलोकनिवासिनं खिन्दयन्तमहर्निशं गणनाथयूथसमन्वितम् चन्द्रशेखर 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 रक्ष माम् मृत्युभीतमुकुण्डशूनकृत स्तव शिवसन्निधौ यत्र कुत्र च पठन्नहितस्य मृत्युमयं भवेत् पूर्णमायुररोगितां खिलाद सम्पदमदरं चन्द्रः चन्द्रशेखर एव तस्य ददाति मुक्तमयं तथा। इति श्री चन्द्रशेखराष्टकं सम्पूर्णम्। This means I seek refuge in him who is the moon, who made the mountain of jewels into his bow, who resides on the mountain of silver, who made the serpents Vasuki as rope, who made Lord Vishnu as arrows, and quickly destroyed the 3 cities, and who is saluted by 3 worlds. And so, what can the god of death do to me? I seek refuge in him who has the moon, who shines with the pair of his lotus-like feet, which are worshipped by the scented flowers of 5 kalpaka trees, who burnt the body of God of love using the fire from the eyes of his forehead, who applies ash all over his body, who destroys the sorrow of life, and who does not have destruction. And so what can the god of death do to me? I seek refuge in him who has the moon, who is the stealer of minds because of his upper cloth, made of the skin of the ferocious elephant, who has lotus-like feet which are worshipped by Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu, and who has matted hair drenched by drops of the waves of the holy river Ganga. And so what can the god of death do to me? I seek refuge in him who has the moon, who is friend of Lord Kubera, who destroyed the eyes of Bharga, who wears serpent as ornament, whose left part of the body is decorated by the daughter of the king of mountain, whose neck is blue because of the poison, who is armed with an axe, who carries a deer with him, and so what can the god of death do to me? I seek refuge in him who has the moon, who wears the ear studs made of the curling serpent, who is the great one, being praised by Narada and other sages, who is the lord of entire earth, who is the killer of Antakashura, who is the wish-giving tree to his devotees, and who is the killer of the god of death. And so, what can god of death do to me? I seek refuge in him who has the moon, who is the doctor who cures sorrowful life, who destroys all sorts of dangers, who destroys the fire sacrifice of Daksha, who is personification of three qualities, who has three different eyes, who bestows devotion and salvation, and who destroys all types of sins. And what can God of death do to me? I seek refuge in him who has the moon, who is worshipped as darling of devotees, who is the treasure which is perennial, who clothes himself with the directions, who is the chief of all beings, who is beyond the unreachable God, who is not understood by anyone, who is the holiest of everyone, and who is served by moon, water, sun, earth, fire, ether, boss, and the wind. And so, what can God of that do to me? I seek refuge in him who has the moon, who does the creation of the universe, who then is interested in its upkeep, who at proper time destroys the universe, who lives in every being of the universe, who is plays day and night with all beings, who is leader of all beings, and who is like any one of them. And so, what can God of death do to me? He who reads this prayer composed by the son of Mrukandu, who was fear struck with that in the temple of Lord Shiva, will not have fear of death. He would have full healthy life with all grains and all wealth, and Lord Chandrasekhara would give him salvation in the end. Thus the Chandrasekharashtakam is complete. Om Namah Shivaya.